Austin City Planning Commission is called to order. Our first item on the agenda is the approval of the Tuesday, May 14th, 2019 meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
I move we approve as printed. Second.
I do have a couple changes. I believe I was absent last meeting. And also on the third page, I want to say the 5th or 6th paragraph down, starting with Commissioner Stewart clarified. I think the last word in that paragraph is supposed to be compliant. Sure.
Page 3.
What's it say? Complaint?
Yes.
I move we approve as amended.
Motion by Commissioner Mina.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. The second item on the agenda is an open public hearing to consider a petition for a conditional use permit from Austin Hotel Group LLC to place a freestanding sign that exceeds the height and area limitations of city code. The proposed sign will be 60 feet high. The area of the sign will be approximately 250 square feet.
Yeah, just to clarify, initially we were fixated on the area and height because we were treating it as a sign appeal, but since this is a sign that is along our freeway, I-90, we treated it like as a freeway-oriented sign, which requires a conditional use permit. So the area and height is not as essential to the analysis as the conditional use requirements. So our code requires a freeway-oriented ground sign which exceeds the standards when along in our sign permit or sign code. When along a highway where the speed limit is in excess of 45 miles per hour shall require a conditional use permit, which this is one of those signs. The conditional use permit requires that the Planning Commission find where applicable that the use will not create an excessive burden on existing parks, schools, streets, and other public facilities and utilities which serve the area or are proposed to serve the area. That the use will be sufficiently compatible or separated by distances or screenings from adjacent agricultural or residentially zoned uses. That the use will be sufficiently compatible. Let's see. That the use in the opinion of the Planning Commission is reasonably related to the overall needs of the city and the existing land use. The structure and site shall have an appearance that will not have an adverse effect upon adjacent properties. That the use is consistent with our zoning chapter and purposes of the zoning district in which the applicant intends to locate the proposed use. That the use will not cause traffic hazard or congestion. Existing businesses will not be adversely affected. That the use will not result in unnecessary destruction of natural features. And then subdivision 5 includes some of those things. Again, repeats geographic. You should take into consideration the geographical area involved, where the use will depreciate the surrounding area, character of the surrounding area, demonstrated need for such use, and whether the use would cause any nuisance. This particular site is, I have up on our Google Maps, that site that looks, it's essentially that rectangle that's a little darker than the surrounding area. That area is currently zoned B2 Community Business District. The proposed use is as a hotel. The sign would be advertising the hotel. The property to the east is a multifamily residential facility. The property to the west is essentially, it's developed as it will, and I don't expect any additional development to the west. The kind of wooded or area with trees is a stormwater pond. And then there's where the little hand is, that's where the Austin Marketplace sign went in, which was the same kind of analysis that you're making for this particular sign. It was also a conditional use permit. The have some pictures of the sign. Do you have any questions about what the sign would look like specifically? It's just a freestanding sign with Cobblestone Hotel and Suites. Should work. And they do have the petitioner has a representative here to describe more about the project if you need additional information. But this is the sign that's proposed for that location, right?
That is correct,
Yeah, it did include some of their other signage in the packet, but this is the one that we're specifically talking about.
Is it compatible to other freeway signs in the area? In terms of size, location?
The Austin Marketplace sign was, they had a proposed 35 feet for theirs. There are other signs along I-90, not specifically right in that location, that exceed, well, I think the tallest are about 80 feet. So like the subway sign is 80. Quick Trip is close to that height. The Hardee's sign, I'm not sure how tall that is, but so those would be the closest. And then the one at the, I forgot the height of the one at Torgy's or the Holiday Inn, yeah, but that's also similar in height, or maybe exceeds 60 feet potentially. But I would say, yeah, that height is not extreme for that type of sign along the freeway. I could have Matt, can you speak to, you know, kind of average sign?
Sure.
And, you know, the design?
State my name.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Snyder. I'm from Sign Art. We're located in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and we'll be doing the sign project for Cobblestone Hotel. I did do the Hardee's sign across the interstate from there. It's approximately about 240 square feet, and that's an 80-foot sign. The Holiday Inn sign's probably closer in the neighborhoods to 100 feet in height. And I have some examples kind of the signage in the area. Here's a photo looking across the interstate at the Hardee's, Burger King, Quick Trip, and Subway signs. Just to kind of put the height in perspective, that Hardee's sign to the top of the star portion right there is 80 feet from grade. And here's a photo of the Holiday Inn sign, which is probably about, I would say 1,000 to 1,200 feet to the east of the location of the sign we're proposing.
Do you have one of the marketplace sign by chance?
I only have one on my phone. I don't know if that'll show up on
How close are these two gonna be to each other?
the, I'd say they're probably gonna be within 100 feet of each other. This might be kind of difficult to see, but right in this vicinity right here is where we're proposing the Cobblestone sign to be, and roughly right about here is where that existing marketplace sign will be.
If you want to pull up Google Maps, you just have to turn off the animal. Yeah.
I think with the location of the Cobblestone sign that we're proposing, the increase in height will keep the marketplace sign
Yeah,
good
it'll be up
and, good
above
and
it.
visible. It'll be above it, yeah. I believe the marketplace sign is a little bit closer to the right-of-way or the interstate than the Cobblestone sign will be as well.
Do you have any other questions? Thanks, Matt.
So,
there's
Nobody here for the
public
public.
hearings. And then I would just note that we did send out notices to the surrounding property owners. Somebody's phone. Anyway, so we sent notices out to the surrounding property owners, and we did not, and that was quite some time ago. We initially were treating this as a sign appeal, and then we changed it to conditional use permit, so we went an extra month. So they had more notice than typical, almost a month more, and we have not heard anything concerning this addition, so.
So if there's no more questions or discussion, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve a conditional use for the sign for Cobblestonian.
Second.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Mino and a second by Commissioner Young.
All right.
Any further discussion? Otherwise, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so moves.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Oh wait, I have one thing. If all of you could just take a look at our comprehensive plan online. I think I'd like to bring that to our planning commission meeting, have you all do some review of some of the chapters and maybe work on updating some of those, especially like our future land use plan could use some additional review. But just, just as you are able to, just take a look at it just to familiarize yourself if you're not already familiar with the comprehensive plan. It's on our website. And then I'll just talk about it in the future at some point. Thanks.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
There we go. Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
You